Hi everyone, this is Mark Hastings and welcome to Mark the Poet, the podcast. Hi everyone, this is Mark and this is another episode of Mark the Poet podcast, and this episode is going to be called The Sound of Poetry, the Poetry of Sound. And because in this episode I want to discuss a collaboration that I did with another artist, and the journey that it took to bring our collaboration alive. And it was actually a journey that started exactly 10 years ago this year, but I didn't realise that that was the beginning of a journey. I wanted to just discuss and talk about this specific collaboration that began as a simple poem that I wrote and that I recorded myself reciting, and which eventually became a fully fledged song that featured my voice, my poetry, in collaboration with a fellow artist called Scene. And I just wanted to talk about the poem that I wrote and just share some insights into the writing of it, what it means, and how the whole journey from poetry to sound happened. On the 6th of July 2010, I uploaded a video that I made, which included a poem that I had probably written on that same day, or more likely the day before. Back in those days, I used to write a new poem in my notebook, and then I used to type it up on my computer, and then I used to share my new poem on my blog that I was writing, and then I used to record myself reciting that same poem. And then I used to include the recording in a video. And then I used to upload that video to YouTube or Vimeo for people to watch, to listen, and to read. Because I always included the exact text of the poem that I'd just written and recorded myself reciting on the screen in the video, so that those who wanted to enjoy my recitation of the poem could follow along if they so wished. And then I used to repeat the same process: write, record, share, every time that I wrote a new poem. And in such a way that I guess it became somewhat an obsession for me. 10 years ago was when I was probably 2 years into my writing journey. And back in those days, I was writing quite prolifically. However, as the years went on, as I continued to write more poems about all manner of subjects, my time when writing didn't also equate to the time that I had to record and craft a video around that poem. And even though I continued to recite and record myself reading my poems, my YouTube videos started to slow down, and I got to a point where I wasn't making them as prolifically as I was previously. I've been writing poetry for over 10 years. And in 2012, I was even lucky enough to have the opportunity to be able to get a book of my poetry published so that I could share my gift to a wider audience. While I still continue to make the occasional YouTube video and also an audio recording that I started to upload to SoundCloud for people to listen to. However, from the moment that I got my first book of poetry published, which was called Poet of the Sphere, writing poetry and getting more of my poems published into a new collection became more important to me. And as the years went on, and as I wrote more and more, my writing became so impactful and so deep that I even hoped that one day I could write an entire story that would fill an entire book, and that is exactly what happened a few years later. But in 2010, I wrote a new poem. I recorded myself reading it, and then of course I made a YouTube video that I shared, and some people liked it, as did I, even though I was the one who wrote it, because to me it describes so much about how I saw the world and what I felt about life and the connection that we all have to everything. But after that, I moved on. I kept writing, and as they say, that's the end of that was the end of the story. I thought the poem was great, and I thought that was it, and I'll move on. However, if we fast forward 9 years from that point to last year, that was when I was contacted on both YouTube and on Twitter by an electronic artist who was called Scene, S-E-E-N, and they asked me whether they could use my poem that I had just written. Well, not that I had just written, the poem that I wrote 10 years ago, I beg your pardon, which is called I've Never Seen a Sunrise, in a song. And they wanted to give me credit where credit was due, and to be honest, I didn't really give myself that much time to think about it. I just said, fine, yeah, that'd be great. Gave them my permission to use the audio from the YouTube video that I'd uploaded into the song, and I didn't think anything else of it. I was of course flattered that someone liked something that I had written and made a long time ago. They wanted to make something out of it. I'd had offers in the past to collaborate on a song, but they really hadn't gone anywhere, and like I said, I just carried on, kept writing, and I wish this new artist Scene my best, and that's it. I just carried on, and I didn't really think anything else of it. I didn't know what would come of this song, but then about a month later, I think it was, this artist got back to me, and they told me that they had indeed incorporated my poem I've Never Seen a Sunrise into a song which was included with their own music that they had renamed or had named simply Sunrise, and they informed me that it was going to be included in the second volume of a new music compilation called Summer Melodies, and that the song would be able to be heard, bought and downloaded and enjoyed by people all around the world. And naturally, I was overjoyed, I was excited, and I was proud and thankful for this amazing opportunity. And within a few more months, Summer Melodies Volume 2 was released by the Summer Melody record label, with Scene and my song Sunrise on it. And I can't tell you how amazing it was to be able to hear my own voice perfectly meshed, I have to say, together with Scene's electronic music, and the profound happiness that I felt. And I will forever be thankful to both Scene and Summer Melody for giving my voice and my poetry another avenue to be enjoyed by as many people as possible. So there you go. That is the story behind how a simple poem was found by someone long after it was written and enjoyed so much that it was thought to be worthy to become something more and to be given another life, so that it could continue to hopefully inspire and entertain others. You can find Scene and my song Sunrise on Spotify and on iTunes. And the original recording and the video that I made 10 years ago is still available to listen to watch on YouTube. It is a poem that is close to my heart, and it always has been. But knowing that it is now part of a song and it can be enjoyed by a lot more people than it had originally had the opportunity to be heard is amazing to me, and I still get a lot of enjoyment out of occasionally listening to it when I'm just listening onto my iPod, and it will just stop on Sunrise, and I'll just sit and listen to it, and it's amazing how profound the words are. And it's kind of like having an out-of-body experience when I hear my own voice speak to me words that I wrote a long time ago. But it just always reminds me of how amazing life is, how everything happens for a reason, and that people meet each other for reasons that we don't know, and that everything that we do happens for a reason, and that sometimes the things that follow what we do, what we choose to do, what we create, can surprise us in many amazing and brilliant and incredible ways. And I'll always be proud, and I'll always think fondly on my song, our song, Scene, and my song, Sunrise. And I hope you listening to this get an opportunity to listen to it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Of course, I'm going to make more videos to come, more podcasts to come. Maybe I'll include this podcast in a video, hopefully, one day. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. And I just want to thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day. Hi there, I'm Mark Hastings. If you don't already know me, I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I'm an author. I'm the author of 10 books, and this is my podcast, Mark the Poet, which is an extension of my website, markthepoet.me, where I regularly post brand new poems that I've written, and as I said, I'm the author of 10 books. First one was Poet of the Sphere. The second was The Sound of Mark. The third was The Eternal Boy. The fourth was The Dreamer and the Dream. The fifth was Truly Madly Deeply. The sixth was Too Close to the Sun. The seventh was The Wolf in Me. The eighth was Playing God. The ninth was The Wolf in You. And the 10th and most recent one came out this year is called The Rambler. And this book is a book of poetry. I majoritively write poetry, but some of the books that I've shown you that I've written are stories, some short stories, some in long form. Yeah, so this is my podcast. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you comment if you like what you see, what you hear, and comment, share more of my poetry and more of my recollections of how I wrote what I have written and what I am hopefully going to write in the future. Thanks for listening.